You can't tell me a damn thing.
The M4 iPad Pro is here, but as a professional video editor and filmmaker, I wanted to replace my MacBook Pro for a weekend work trip to California just to see what this new skinny boy can do. Before I leave for the trip, I snagged the new Magic Keyboard from the Apple Store and got a quick haircut. I decided on the 13-inch with 256 gigs of storage and the standard glass over the more expensive nano glass. Setting the iPad up before my trip was pretty easy, especially because I'm already in the Apple ecosystem, so the M4 was able to auto-sync with my iCloud backup of my phone. I also bought the most expensive pencil I've ever seen just to try it out. But the real test will be not bringing my laptop. I guess we'll see how the iPad stacks up for various work and travel tasks. And I was feeling pretty good about that transition. Whatever.
I'm awake at 3:30 a.m. for a Spirit Airlines flight.
Today, I'm heading to Hollywood for a filmmaking convention called Cine, where all the filmmaking tech companies show off their latest innovations in the movie making and content creation world.
I made it to Los Angeles, got myself a nice car. You know what? No.
I started the drive, but then parked my sick Toyota Dad Camry in a neat town called Laurel Canyon. There was a cute market and cafe right off the main road, so I stopped for a coffee and a homemade breakfast sandwich. Being an ex-musician, I've seen the entire United States multiple times, so when I travel now, I'm way more interested in the local life and small shops rather than big touristy locations. And after chatting with a couple nice people, I learned that there's deep history in this little canyon. I recommend giving it the old Google. But it was time to finish the journey to Hollywood.
Pretty wild being in LA right now by myself. I'm excited, but I'm actually meeting up with some other creator friends today. I'm staying with some cool Brandons, actually. And I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic because last summer I came to LA for the Spider-Man Lotus premiere, and that's one of my favorite videos I've ever made. But what's making me nostalgic is back in 2017, I came to Cine for the announcement of the Panasonic EVA 1 cinema camera.
EVA 1.
And I was so excited. I stayed in this weird bungalow Airbnb by myself. It's my first time using like Uber and Airbnb, and I didn't know anybody there, so I just had to make friends at the thing. But it's gonna be interesting coming back though 7 years later. My life has changed so much.
I met up with the legendary Brandons. I'm talking Washington and Talbot.
So this is C-Motion C-Vision.
We spent the day checking out booths, talking with companies and creators. It was laid back, but still really fun. The highlights for me were seeing the new Panasonic GH7, which felt like a full circle moment from the last time I was here in 2017, seeing the EVA 1. I also loved Small Rig's booth, and the new Canon C400 was pretty cool too.
What's that? Yeah. Tom, get in there.
Afterward, I caught an Uber back to the Airbnb, and that was the end of day one.
Dude, I look like a tomato. I'm gonna have to do some heavy color grading to fix myself. But I've never really used iPads that much, especially for work. So I wanted to see with this Pro keyboard and the pencil if it could kind of replace a laptop for just traveling and working lightly. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys is if you have any ideas on what we could name this series. Like, I know it's kind of like day in the life, but that's a pretty common thing on YouTube. So I wanted to see if you guys, I'm challenging you guys to come up with some creative titles for this series, and maybe we can get like a cool intro for it or something. So let me know if you have any ideas. I'm gonna keep using this iPad and absolutely vibing. Hope you're having a great day too.
I started day 2 off by attempting to use my iPad for my morning devotional, but dang dude, I am struggling to open the Magic Keyboard. This is a consistent issue for me with this device, but eventually I big-brained it. You can't tell from the footage because I'm using an ND filter on my lens, but the 1000 nit display is plenty bright for outdoor use. It is pretty cloudy today though, so we'll have to see how it does in brighter conditions later today, but so far it's solid.
Just realized Command H works to hide apps, just like on MacBooks, and
desktops.
I also learned through science that you can balance your coffee cup on the Magic Keyboard case while opening doors and stuff. The next thing I wanted to test was the FaceTime quality. So I texted my wife to see if she was free, then I found the Airbnb's manual for the Wi-Fi password. The Magic Keyboard feels and sounds clean and tactile, but that won't save us from absolute trash internet.
Oh, come on!
Even my hotspot wasn't working for some reason.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can get the Wi-Fi to work here. If not, I'm gonna literally drive to a McDonald's and just mooch on their Wi-Fi and FaceTime you guys.
Okay, sounds good.
I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
There's no hope for this Wi-Fi, so I'm heading to the Golden Arches.
Golden Archies. That's not loading.
McDonald's Wi-Fi treated me exactly how their McRib treats my butt. Total dissatisfaction.
Screw this. I'm calling my wife on my phone. There he is.
Hello.
It's a good angle.
Are you just like super sunburned?
I got torched yesterday at Cine. I tried so hard to FaceTime you on the iPad and I could not get it to connect. I'm in a McDonald's parking lot trying to get Wi-Fi and it just wouldn't work.
Just wasn't working for you.
It's fine.
After that FaceTime, I decided to leave Hollywood and head to Rancho Cucamonga, yes, that's a real place, I guess, to see an old friend.
Look at this bum that I found in California.
Nice of you to give me a ride, sir.
So Connor and I were both in California separately, but now together for Cine.
Yep.
But we're not at Cine today, we're just hanging out.
No.
Connor brought me a little drinky, and we're hanging.
Since I'm hanging with Connor, I felt it was only right to document the experience with some gorgeous photography.
You got the big one.
Yeah, I got the 13.
Holy balls, dude.
So when I'm trying to shoot photos, I can't shoot in RAW on this camera. Very unfortunate because I love shooting on RAW with my iPhone because it doesn't look as processed. It looks way more clean like a real camera. I can only shoot selfie portraits. There's no option to flip the camera and take a photo of someone else in portrait mode. I have to go into regular photo mode, switch the camera, and if I hit portrait, it just makes it a selfie. I'm just thinking of all the grandmas out there at wedding ceremonies, you know? It looks like iPhone 4 photos. Ah, look at this.
Ew.
Trying to get service.
It feels solid, but it also is so thin that I feel like I could bend this easily if I wasn't careful. Also, it looks like it takes fingerprints like nothing else.
Yeah, it really does. One thing I didn't get to test on my trip was photo editing using Lightroom Mobile. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I also have my pencil here. I feel like it might be kind of fun to use the sliders and stuff while I talk to you about today's sponsor, Professional Photographers of America. My favorite benefit of PPA is probably the fact that you get up to $15,000 of gear equipment insurance. So if you break your stuff here, you can get it replaced for a lot cheaper than if you don't have PPA. All right, let's see. What photo do I want to mess with? Let's just do some 16:9 action. Oh, dude, this is awesome. Using the pencil, you're getting like full pro motion with this. So when I'm looking at it in real life, it's hyper smooth. I love working with PPA. They're really good people and they're a company that I actually trust. You can get contract templates if you're struggling to write up your own contract to send to clients. There's like model release form templates, everything that you need. The display itself just looks amazing. What if all my hair grew back when I did that? That'd be crazy. Wait, you can do generative remove? No way. Whoa, whoa, what? This has generative fill built into it? I had no idea that was even an option in Lightroom. Here's a picture of my boy being held by his future Uncle Joe. I use masking all the time in Lightroom, especially for thumbnail photos when I want the subject to really pop. Man, Lightroom's masking, the auto masking, is actually crazy. Oh, dude, it just feels so good with the pencil. Is this the way editing should be? Make the boys pop a little more. I mean, that's pretty nice. That was just a super basic edit, but it makes Levi pop out of the photo way more. That's awesome, dude. And photos like this of Levi are so important to me because it's a memory of my son's life. And PPA can help you with data loss because of their indemnification trust. Man, there's just so many amazing benefits to being a PPA member. I'm so glad to be working with them and recommending them to you because I truly believe in them. So check the link in the description. If you'd like to join, you'll get a discount through my link. All that info is in the very top of the description. But now let's get Connor's thoughts on actually using
an iPad for daily use over a MacBook?
So the thing about iPads for me is like when I got my iPad Pro, for the first week or two, I used it all the time because it was cool, right? But after a while, how we doing? But after a while, I set it on a desk or on a table or something, and then it just stayed there because I wasn't needing to use it other than just my MacBook, for example. So iPads are cool, but I feel like they're for a very particular type of person, or if you just don't have a computer at all. But that's just how I see it.
For a designer specifically.
Yeah, like if you're a graphic designer, like obviously this would be great, or even just an artist, or maybe you're in college, like this is all really great. I mean, it is cool. I mean, it definitely works well. It's just, I don't know, like it doesn't replace my MacBook at least.
Also, it turns out the iPad's display does keep up in super bright conditions, although it does collect fingerprints like a Midwestern grandma with local USPS stamps. We headed to a quaint local coffee shop called Starbucks to get some light work done. Fortunately, the Wi-Fi here does work. I was able to check in for my flight and work on a script for a video. But I have another big test I want to run on this iPad, and I need an accessory to pull it off. And there's only one place to go.
So I want to try the video editing capabilities of the M4 Pro iPad. So we're going to go into Best Buy, get an SD card to USB-C reader so I can transfer the footage from this camera to the iPad and test it out. Here we go. $40 so I can transfer footage. We need AirDrop on our cameras, so that'd be sick, but we're gonna get it.
While we were at Best Buy, I saw an M4 iPad Pro for $100 off, so if you're looking for a deal, maybe go see if you can find one in an open box like this one. We headed back to my Airbnb to give this video editing test a shot. I connected my MX Master 3 Bluetooth mouse, watched a tutorial, and sat down with a friend for some advice.
We got BWash Media LLC Incorporated.co with us tonight. I'm trying to figure out DaVinci Resolve for the iPad Pro.
Yep.
You told me go look at Michael Tobin's video. Give a quick rundown of what we're trying to do, basically.
Yeah, so basically we're gonna unlock the rest of DaVinci Resolve, all the additional pages, like your edit page, your color page. And so we're just gonna need to go through and assign each of those pages to keyboard shortcuts, so that way we can open up those pages here.
I was able to get all the DaVinci Resolve tabs open on iPad, and the experience was actually decent. This isn't an in-depth look by any means, but man, it's crazy that my home editing computer is an M2 Mac Mini, which cuts footage decently, but this iPad is a freaking M4, and you can tell. I can't wait to spend more time editing with this thing in the near future, so subscribe for that. Day 3, it's time to travel home and see my family. I pulled up Spotify to test out the speakers while getting dressed, and they sound pretty good. It's nothing crazy, but now it's time for me to make my way home. At the airport, I was able to connect to Wi-Fi and download a bunch of videos in the YouTube app to watch on the plane. One thing I've noticed is that fingerprints are a huge pain with this display. Maybe the nano glass would perform better, but I just couldn't justify the extra cost on an already expensive rectangular Frisbee. But seriously, I want to know how far I could skip this thing on a lake. On my flight, I caught up on YouTube videos, and one thing I noticed is that this big display draws way more attention than a smartphone. Seriously, the dude next to me was basically watching COD videos with me for 2 hours, and it was actually kind of annoying. Maybe look into a privacy screen protector if this is something important to you as well. I also tested out color grading in DaVinci Resolve, and it's crazy how close it is to grading on my desktop at home. The color accuracy of this display is no joke, and the playback of my Sony FX30's 4K footage is better on this iPad than my home computer. And I'm doing it in the sky. Kinda crazy. Alright, that's enough tech lingo for now. I'm finally back home in Nashville. It's so much harder to be away from family now that Levi is here, but overall I loved my trip, the people I got to hang out with, the new people I met, and this iPad's pretty dope too. Nothing compared to this face though.
Hi. How you doing? How you doing, yeah? You better remember me. You better remember me, little dude. Oh, I looked at that so many times. Yeah,